Oh, that is sensational. What a beautiful looking quiche. Oh, look at that. It's going to slice beautifully. That is a bit special. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're going to do a quiche, a bog standard quiche differently, okay? Everybody makes a quiche the same way, pastry filling, done. We're changing it. We're going to do it with a potato quiche. However, we're going to make it bog standard, the old-fashioned way. You know, easy, a bit of filling, tomato, cheese, etc. Let's get on and do it. Okay, in here, I've got some new-ish potatoes. I've got a pan of water. I'm going to chuck those in there and we're going to boil them. I'm going to chuck them on behind me to boil. We're going to boil those up and then we are going to mash them. Okay, that's going to be our base and crust. At the front then, we've got a tin. It's an 8-inch springform tin. Grab a small pan. We don't need much for this. We're just doing a little cook of filling. We're going to do bacon and onion. Now what we're going to do is start the bacon off first. We're going to use the bacon fat to cook the onion. Now what I've done with this bacon, I've gone to town with a pair of scissors and I've chopped it all up. We want bacon bits in this. You can put in full slices if you want. That's up to you. Let's give this a cooking. Now for all those folks who are veggie, you ain't putting the bacon in, but you can mix up the filling, a normal bog standard quiche filling, up to you. Season it with whatever season you want, and you know, it works both ways. So we've got that started off in there. Look, we've got a minimal amount of fat coming out of there, but we're going in there with the onions. Everything's going to cook together. Keep that. We're going to put it back in a second. Now you don't need such a high flame to render this down. We're just cooking out the rawness of the onion using the bacon fat. Now if you're using extra lean bacon, come on, common sense, chuck some oil in, or butter. Doesn't matter if it's veg oil or olive oil. Just get it in there. Fry it off. Already smells fantastic. I love that smell of bacon and onion. Oh, there's a bit of flavour there. Look, we got a little tinge going on. That looks superb. That'll do nicely. Right, we want that back in that tub. So that's our cooking done. We just wait for the potatoes to boil. Our potatoes are boiled and drained and they are just air drying basically, okay? But we need to cool them down. So I'm going to go for a larger bowl and we're going to give them a breaking up. We're just going to give them a mashing. We want them cold because I'm actually going to add an egg to this and we don't want to cook the egg. So just give your potatoes a little mash and that's going to start to cool them down, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients and mash them properly. So whilst that's cooling like that, we can actually add some butter as if we're going to make mashed potatoes. So we're going in there with a lump of butter. We're going to season this, salt and pepper, whatever you like. Now we're just going to stir that butter through so it's already in there. We want this to cool. So just cool it down. Okay, that's cooled down sufficiently, I think. I've got an egg. We're going to give that a little beating. I'm going to chuck that in there. I've got a little bit of cheddar. That's going in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a tablespoon of cornstarch. What it's going to do is hold all the moisture together and crusty it up. So give that a good mix in, and that is our crust. And then we're going to put it inside our tin. Now the egg, okay, is going to act like a binder, but it's going to give this some richness in this pastry, in this potato pastry. Bring in your tin that you're using, and we want that in there, in the bottom and up the sides. Now you're going to want your oven on today at 200 to start this off, and then we're going to turn it down. Right, we want that up the sides. Okay, so squash it up the side, and then we'll level it out. Now what we're going to do is bake this, which is going to dry it out obviously, and that's going to act as our pastry. Okay, that's enough squashing and pressing and leveling out. I don't think I'm going to get it much better than that. That'll do. I've got some very softened butter here. If it was melted butter it would be better, but no worries. We're just going to rub that round there, and that's going to give us a nice crispy when it cooks in the oven. Okay, we're going to whack that in the oven for about 25 minutes. Okay, that gives us a chance to bring our bog standard filling together. In here I've got some egg. We'll just give that little one of those. Going in there with some milk and a little dobbing of cream. We're going to give it that really old-fashioned creaminess. A little bit of seasoning. Only just a little bit, to be fair. We're using salty bacon. Now I am putting in a pinch of Italian herbs. They can go in there, and they're going to rehydrate in there. Okay, so that's going to sit there about 15 minutes whilst that finishes in the oven, and then we put it all together. Okay, when you've had about 20 minutes, let's have that out of there. It's going to go back in. What we're going to do is a little egg wash. Some of that egg wash in there, and we're going to bob it back in. With this being potato, we actually want it to seal. It's an old-fashioned way of sealing. Just a beaten egg and back in. You would do it with pastry as well, but this is a little bit more porous, if you like, with it being mashed up potato. Now we're going to bob that back in for about 5 minutes. That's all. We've had a couple of minutes. You don't need any longer to put a seal on there, to be honest. Now you can see you've got that beautiful seal, look. That's held up beautifully. Right, just let that cool a little minute. We don't want to be putting our egg mixture in there. Just going to drop a little bit of cheese in there. That'll melt in the bottom, form a seal as well. In there, our bacon and onion filling. Our classic quiche filling. Like I say, if you're vegetarian, you might just put the onion in. I'll have a little bit more cheese on there, look. And then we're going in there with our filling. Right, in good old traditional style, on there, some tomato. And a little dusting of cheese. Oven temperature is at 180. We're going to bake that up in there for about 30-35 minutes. Okay, when you've had about 20-25 minutes, you want to give it a little shake. It wants to be wobbly in the middle. That, as you can see, there's a bit of a wobble on there. But that needs about another 5 minutes. It's too much of a wobble. So give it 5 minutes and then we'll have that out of there. Okay, when you've had your time, that can come out of there. Got a little bit of wobble on there in the middle, look. That's fine. There you go. That is absolutely stunning. What a beautiful quiche. Now it might sink a little bit in the middle. We'll have to wait and see. A perfect potato crust. That looks sensational. Now I'm actually going to serve it cold. Well, not cold, but it's only going to be warm today. I'm going to have it a little bit of salad actually. There you go. Look at that. Come on. Let's pop this. Oh, looky there. Oh, that is sensational. What a beautiful looking quiche. Come on, it's a standard quiche. We're in here. Nice and gentle through that potato crust. Oh, look at that. It's going to slice beautifully. Come on. Oh, look at that. That is a bit special. On there. There we go. An absolutely beautiful quiche. Can be veganized. You don't need the bacon, but you know, the bacon and onion. Ho ho! Bit traditional. Come on in there. Get that straight through to the bottom. Oh, that is beautiful. And our pastry, look at that. Our potato pastry. Absolutely sensational. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, that is really moist. Moist with the mashed potato. Very buttery, very creamy. It is absolutely delicious. Wow. There you go. That beats pastry any day. And there's not a problem with it being dried out or overcooked or not cooked, because it is cooked. It's mashed potato. It's cooked already. It's sensational. Look at that. That is beautiful. What a way to enjoy a traditional quiche. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to share with your friends. Tell them how easy it is to make a potato crust traditional quiche. If you like what we're doing, big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and we'll catch you in the next video. Can't get enough of this.